Crispus, as Mashudu says, bargain hunters have lifted the market today, and also other positive news around tourism numbers coming through, the rains falling. So there should be a boost in terms of earnings in the month of December.
Oh yes, Lerato, Kenya at this point in time is a beautiful place to visit. I welcome you. Everything is going up. I mean, we've got news that commodity prices are coming down. So going forward, we are going to have a situation whereby basically prices of consumer goods will be down. The shilling seems to be holding steady against the dollar, at least for the time being. We are seeing a situation whereby interbank rates are at least coming down. Basically, things are looking up, Lerato.
All right, so let's talk about the gainers in this market. We're seeing movements on the Barclays counter, Standard Chartered. We know that these two banks have needed to really lift their profile from niche banking institutions into more mainstream retail banks. What's leading the attraction at this moment? Because they are on a bit of a restructuring, as some would say.
For both of them, we know Standard are looking to show up their capital base. Barclays, I believe in the last couple of days, it's been undervalued at those levels. So if I was looking to enter into the market now, I would pick it at the current levels. Okay,
what's the story around carb acid?
Really, Lerato, when you ask me about a story, you seem to be more informed than I am.
Well, that stock is up 6.5%, as Mashudu indicated. Any fundamentals? We do know that obviously this market's had thin volumes, and so 2 or 3 movements in the stock amounts to something significant. Is it the story there?
Really, I don't think so. I think it's a matter of volume, since also it's a closely traded counter. It doesn't have so many shares. I mean, its liquidity is not really something that I would not call it a liquid counter. That's why. So even if it moves up, if we have 2 or 3 upticks, still it doesn't catch my eye. I'd wait for maybe a week's uptick or something like that.
All right, we're also getting news from the NSC of a review of their constituent companies, and Uchumi's really seen a bit of a turnaround when it comes to the ratings by the NSC. They've just relisted this year, withheld dividends, but doing really well just in terms of cash preservation, growth, and confidence restored. Tell us the story of Uchumi in 2011.
Uchumi in 2011 has been beautiful, although slightly marred by corporate governance issues. We are well aware that the number of independent directors have to be increased. But once they work that out, then we should be up and about. Okay.
Now, the one that has been subject to a negative review is CMC Holdings. Why is that?
Lerato, CMC Holdings, again, corporate governance issues. Looks like we are having a bit of corporate governance issues today, because of the tussle between the directors. They really have to sort it out now, so that the investors should be able to gain some return from their investments. And then again, it's good for the market confidence.
Let's talk about other movers in the session. We've got some movement on the KPLC counter, and then, as per usual, movements on the equity and KCB counters. We do know that the blue chip banks tend to be market darlings. What about the energy companies and some of the other industrial stocks?
Energy companies, we are headed towards KPLC should be closing its books anytime soon. Kenyan also. So I would say that would be a driver as people look to lock in the dividends. But then again, as we've seen in the past few, those two, that segment has seen a bit of undervaluation. The market has really punished those two companies. Why, I have no idea.
All right, what's happening on the fixed income side of the market? Because what we have also seen is some recovery in the exchange rate, is more decisive action on the part of the central bank. But unfortunately, it hasn't made fixed income securities as attractive as what they ought to be.
I'm just looking at the results of the 91-day. Really, those are very, very high levels. At 16%, 17%, I don't think it's sustainable. But then again, today, for the first time in a long while, I saw the activity the activity on the normal trading of bonds actually enveloping the activity of sell buybacks. So I could say the market has been vibrant today.
Okay, and then obviously we're almost at year's end. As we go into 2012, what would be the investment case for Kenya? Because really the bourse has gone from zero to hero. One of the best performers in 2010, one of the worst performers in 2011. What's equilibrium in 2012?
2012 is dicey, Lerato. We've got a lot of issues coming up. The elections, the last election was not something I'd like to talk much about. I mean, it's well documented. So it's just our prayer and hope that the umbrella of the elections will be able to get out so that we can move on to business as usual. But then again, remember, we've got spiraling inflation all year round. I mean, throughout the years, inflation has not been so good. We ought to fight that. Interest rates, we really ought to, we ought to see a situation whereby it's coming down. My prayer is that the long range, is that the rains will be able to give us a respite in terms of maize prices coming down and a bit of other prices. I also hope the world economy should be favorable to investors so that, like me and you, so that we can be rich.